Risks in equity investment. Risk refers to the possibility of incurring an injury or loss through exposure to a hazard. It influences the possible attainment of business goals for an organization. Risk may have both positive and negative consequences, as a result of uncertainty of outcome. Ghurm is one of the translations for risk, and is found in the Islamic legal maxim. Al-Ghun bil Ghurm simply means profit is earned through risk. Risk and reward go side by side in Islam. To realize the fruits of an investment, one must bear the risk of loss on that investment. Guaranteed returns with a capital guarantee generally falls within the category of interest-based loans and provide no risk commensurate with the reward received by the investor. Prophet Muhammad once said, "Take advantage of 5 opportunities before 5 other things. Your youth before your old age. Your health before your illness. Your wealth before your poverty. Your leisure before your haste. And your life before your death." Concept of Ghurm. Required to assess the profit and loss from the business outcome. Systematic risk versus unsystematic risk approach. Concept of Gharar. Leads to invalid contracts for not complying with Sharia law and principles. Unsystematic risk. Systematic risk. Systematic risk refers to the risk inherent in the entire market or in a market segment. For example, the COVID-19 pandemic that affected the global market is an undiversifiable risk. This type of risk is both unpredictable and impossible to completely avoid. Unsystematic risk. Unsystematic risk is the risk that affects a specific company or industry. For example, by investing in a range of companies and industries, unsystematic risk can be drastically reduced through diversification. Other major risks in the financial industry. Operational risk. Risk exposure from failures relating to internal processes, people, systems and technology and external events. This includes legal risk, but excludes strategic and reputational risk. The definition also includes loss resulting from Sharia non-compliance and any failure in fiduciary responsibilities. Market risk. Risk exposure resulting from movements in market prices, interest rates, forex rates and equity values. Credit risk. Risk exposure resulting from borrowers or counterparties failing to meet their financial obligations in accordance with the agreed terms. Liquidity risk. Risk exposure resulting from the company's inability to meet short-term financial obligations. This usually occurs due to an inability to convert a security or hard asset into cash without incurring unacceptable costs or losses in the process. Commodity risk. Risk exposure resulting from the uncertainty about the value of the profits expected from the purchase and sale of commodities. 2 types, price risk and volume risk. What if the Islamic equity is no longer Sharia compliant? One of the risks associated with investing in Islamic equity is that the investment might no longer be classified or approved under the Sharia compliant listings. For example, you invested savings of Rm 200,000 in iStocks, but later, the iStocks were declared Sharia non-compliant by the Securities Commission. What will you do if you face such a situation? Should you dispose of the investment or hold on to it? If you intend to dispose of it, how will you do so? According to the Sharia Advisory Committee, there is a time window allowed for the disposal of Sharia non-compliant assets. Once investors are informed that their Sharia-compliant investment has failed the Sharia screening, they shall have 1 month to dispose of the said investment. Any capital gains or dividends before or after will be distributed to charitable bodies and/or by Tulmal. Baitul is an Arabic term meaning house of money. It is an institution responsible for the administration and distribution of wealth to help others improve their quality of life. Managing your risk. 1. Build a good investment portfolio. Learning how to optimize the risk and return in your investment portfolio is essential for long-term investment success. 2. Diversification. Investing in different asset classes can reduce risk. Diversification may include investing in physical assets such as property and gold in addition to financial assets such as sukuk, unit trusts and stocks to diversify the risk associated with any particular asset. 3. Good money management. Investing in financial assets, especially in the stock market, requires good money management to determine the maximum risk in terms of losses that one can bear. Sometimes it is better to accept small losses to avoid bigger losses. 4. Be prepared for market risks. As a general rule, many financial advisors say that an investor should not risk more than 10% of his capital. Since it moves in unpredictable ways, the market can be cruel and merciless. Investors should be prepared for any unfavorable market movements.